What up? What up? What up? Happy Thursday, everybody. Live Reality Games podcast coming at you. I'm Daniel Ball, and tonight we are recapping. We got a lot to recap. Let's just put it that way. Episode 10, episode 11 of Survivor Angelica Medieval Mayhem. It's been such a great season, such a long season. A lot of things have gone on, but we've got to get the main stars of the past two episodes in with us. We've got star of episode 10, Hannah. Hannah, what is up? How are you?
I'm great. Very excited to talk about my demise.
Yeah, it's it's always tough when you get the axe. I'm just gonna say it. That's a tough way to say it, but it is. You get the axe. I feel like that's very poignant and very like medieval mayhem-esque to say that you got the axe. But
Yes.
with that, obviously, episode 10, there's a lot to dive into, and I've got some interesting points being on the jury from my perspective, looking at it. But it wouldn't be a full, complete episode if we didn't bring in somebody new, and I'm gonna do it. Everybody's been wanting this. They've been asking for it, and here we are. Jess, what is up? And
I
she's
am
gone.
having audio difficulties.
Hey, it is all good. Jess, Hannah is the star of episode 10, but you're the star of episode 11. And, some could say all three of us are just the star of the entire show. So, like, we could say that. Nobody's going to tell us that we're wrong, unless they comment on it, in which case I can decide to put those comments out or not. But anyhow, let's get into it. Episode 10, Crimea River. It starts off, Paige is happy to have immunity. She was the one who floated my name to the group. Thanks, Paige. Appreciate you. If there was ever a scenario, Hannah, where I could have made it to the final three, it was going to have to be me, you, and a combination of Paige or someone else in that realm, because I don't think my core three, I think I was on the bottom of those of us four. So Paige would have been an important person to have, but she decided she didn't want anything to do with me, which, hey, that's fine. It's a game, and that happens. But I was a little sad when I heard her say that. I really was. It took me a couple of days to get over it. But Hannah, you've played many of these games before. When you hear something new, like when the episodes are put out there, and it's like kind of not negative towards you, but it's gameplay against you, like, does it make you feel any type of way? Do you kind of like, because I got sad when she said that. I was like, oh man, that kind of hurts. But like,
Yeah.
should I?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's any should, but I feel like everyone, including myself, can feel a certain kind of way. I mean, if it's within game, which I feel like our cast was very good about, then it's easy to move past and all talk and reconcile. So at least there's that.
Yeah, that's true. I think we said it a couple episodes ago, is like, it would just be easier if the people were just jerks. Then you could just be mad at everybody, but everyone's just so nice, and it's really hard to like carry any grudge or any like feud long term against the people and the players, because they're so nice. Speaking of nice, Santi, he says, Jessica.
I love you, Sassy.
Santi, what is up, brother? Looking at the episode, Joel finds himself in a really good spot. He gets immunity by a rock draw, a lucky rock draw at that. Hannah, you drew a rock. You didn't get the right rock, but it happens. But do you think? I think he was safe either way. I don't really think the outcome of the rock draw would have mattered for him. I still think I'm going home. I'm the vote, and it is what it is. But the episode starts and we get into an immunity challenge, and this is a really difficult, in my opinion, because now I'm on the outside looking in, and I'm seeing like, well, what would I do if I was playing this game? And I didn't know. I was like, it's dark outside. You guys got to listen to a question, run around in the dark. And I didn't even know what you guys were looking at or looking for. Did you, Hannah? I mean,
Uh,
clearly Jess knew what was going on,
Yes,
but
I
like I feel like
did.
nobody else really had an idea. So, when the game is announced, are you clear on the rules? Is everyone clear on what to do? Or was it just like, I think I know, but I really don't?
well, I will just say this is a popular challenge in Big Brother. So from Big Brother, the OTAB challenge, I knew it from that. But aside from that, I may have been confused. Slash the one where me and most people go out. I had no idea what the answer was and just grabbed a random thing and hoped for the best. So I did not know what I
What
was looking for.
what was it? I mean, were they just the names on the cards? Was there like groupings? Like over
They were
here
face
was
down.
they were just random. So when you went over there,
Yeah.
it could have any number of names in like the 10-foot radius if you
It
didn't
was
find
an
the
Easter egg
answer.
hunt.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
Easter egg
know,
hunt, pretty
I
much.
I used to love Easter egg hunts until I had
Yeah,
kids,
that's
and
why I
and
love that
now
game.
now it's like we have to Easter egg hunt just for fun, like every day. Like they're practicing
Oh,
for this Easter.
I've
Like it's
been there.
crazy.
I've been there.
It's crazy.
I've been
But Jess, what was your game plan going into this? Because obviously it worked. You end up winning this challenge and winning
into
immunity.
OTEV
Yeah.
or into well, the only reality show I've ever watched, and I haven't watched like many seasons recently, was Big Brother. And OTEV was like my favorite. So when that came out, I was like, this is it. Here I go. So that was kind of exciting for me.
Did you
I represented Big Brother
did you
in my
feel
dreams.
like you had to win this?
No, no,
No?
no.
You
I
felt
didn't
good?
go into any of this thinking I had to win anything. I went into this for the experience. That's it. Like I said, I never watched Santi's loving this right now. I
Yeah.
never I never went into this watching any Survivor or any like desire to want to really be on a like LGR, LRG. I always get it mixed up. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, I just went in to have fun.
What about you, Hannah? Did you go into this thinking, "Oh shit, I gotta win this, or it's me, or I gotta get immunity."
Yeah, I had a bad feeling. I was like, I definitely would feel much I felt like definitely in danger if I didn't win that, which was correct. But when Jason asked the question, like whatever the question that took a bunch of us out, like who was the first person called, I just couldn't even think straight. I had no idea. I was like, grab a random name. I think I ran up to like in the field. I think I saw Joel. I was like, what name is it? And he was like, I have no idea. Just grab a random one. Instead of stopping to like think about who is it definitely not. I just grabbed the first name that I saw and ran back.
Do you do you make the
Really?
do you make the assumption that everyone knows the answer, and so like you can't spend a lot of time like really like processing the question and thinking?
Yep.
Um, Santi
Yes.
gives some insight. I think we all had different names, but Paige and Jess, which is, out of all the names out there, it's funny that you guys all picked a different one that was the wrong answer, except Paige and Jess have the
Yep.
have the right one. What's the feeling like, Jess, when Jason announces you the winner and you get that immunity necklace? How's that feel?
I had to actually fight for that win because he was claiming, I think, Paige at that point. I was like, no, 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 I got the right one. I got it. So that's what made us go back out into the field and go for the last round.
Wow.
I felt good. I wanted to wear feathers. Feathers are my thing.
You wanted to win the necklace.
Yeah.
And that you did. So you guys go back to camp. Paige is talking about jury votes and talking about, really at this point you start seeing these long-term plans that people had started thinking about now getting closer and closer. Now moves are going to have to start happening to make these long-term plans become the short-term plan so that they can hopefully put themselves in a final three. And Paige is there doing that. And she says, Hannah, she can't be in a final three with you and Joel. Why do you think Paige felt that way?
Well, I'll just say it was nice to at least hear that rather than like, oh, I hate Hannah. I just want to get rid of her. So that at least emotionally felt good.
Yes.
I think I mean, I would assume because since we were sort of at least perceived to be on the bottom and sort of the underdogs, I think many times juries do like that and gravitate towards that. So if there is like an underdog or minority alliance person that gets to the end, they get excited. And as someone who has been on the jury in another game, that's immediately what my brain goes to. I see the person struggling to survive and I'm like, yes, please stay in. I want this. Like you start like rooting for them. So
Yeah.
I can understand why she would feel that way about me and Joelle.
Yeah, definitely. Was there a thought like, if you were able to have gained immunity, what would have been your next move? Because I feel like in this particular scenario, like the whole mindset is I've got to get immunity and I can't think about anything else. And then when you like, let's say you did get it, what would you have to do to continue staying in this game? What would be the allies that you would go to?
Yeah, that's a good question because I was not mentally even thinking that far ahead. I was literally like, try to survive, try to survive. I have no power, just try to stay in it. I mean, I definitely would have talked to Katie because at the time she was the person strategizing with me the most, and Joelle, and seeing like obviously I didn't know Katie's other things going on, but since she was the person who was most transparent with me, I would have probably talked to her and Joelle and like talked like, what are you thinking? What is your end thing? But the problem is, as we see, it's almost like an advantage get-in situation where you don't even have a choice with so many advantages and idols. It's like
Yeah.
it almost felt like it's like the Cerie Fields thing when she went out just by default. It's like if everyone played their idols, there's like no
Yeah, there's
choice.
nothing. Yeah, it's you lose by process of elimination because you're the only one that doesn't have anything. But obviously things get a little crazy. Hannah, walk me through the whole back at camp, you being the vote, and then going to tribal, and then becoming the next person eliminated because from a jury standpoint, and it looked bad. It looked like they all just circled up and said, "You." And I don't want to believe that that was the case, and I don't think that's the case after you hear everyone talk. But from your perspective going in, like what happened?
Yeah, so I'll just start by saying like where everybody's like good now. I know it's like a very emotional episode where everybody's
Yes.
crying and angry at each other, and Paige is like, for once I have no words. But everybody's good now. So definitely explaining how I and probably everybody felt at the time. But yeah. So I think the TLDR was on the way back. Katie went up to me and said, like, Hannah, I got you. And then walked away and said, like, but we can't be seen together. I want to work with you, but I don't want people to know we're working together. So don't communicate with me or come up to me, which is totally fair. She's trying to keep her game undercover. But the problem is that I'm left sort of alone with just the words of, I got you. Good luck.
But it's almost to the point, and you know, we've got the next episode's going to be very, very poignant as far as like the situations that happened in these past two episodes and things coming to light. And I don't want to give any spoilers away, but when she tells you that, it's almost like, well, should I just sit back and wait? Like you almost like don't want to do too much because if she says you're good, you got to feel like, well, maybe I am good. What is she going to do? But it would always be nice if she could at least elaborate. Okay, well, tell me how I am good because right now it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I just needed so she said I'm good but with no other plans or anything. And then later as everyone starts strategizing and talking, sort of the options that are told to me of strategizing are in her ideal world, Paige doesn't use her safety without power so that people can vote her out because she's so good at puzzles and social and a threat to win. But then later in conversations, people say like she's definitely going to use it, so that plan is gone. Um, so in my mind, that plan is gone. That plan is gone. I go to Joelle. I'm like, can we do something? Can me, you, and I don't know, somebody
Yeah.
do something somehow? But again, it feels impossible with Santi as a safety without power and an idol. There's also the super idol. Extra vote, Jess, you're immune, which is awesome. So it's like, okay, it's literally going to be the only people who are options are me, Joelle, and Katie. And Katie is not an option because she's so well connected and she doesn't feel like an option for me. So I'm like, I don't want to vote at her. I don't want to vote at Joelle. Like, I just don't know what to do at that point.
Well, and it's hard to rationalize in your head, oh, Katie is an option. Well, no, she's not, because she's the one player who's coming to you saying, I got you. So it's really hard to go, well, I can stay in this game, but I'm gonna have to vote out the person who's got my back the most right now, which is her. And if she's gone, then it almost like puts you up on the block next anyway. So Jess, knowing that you have immunity and all of this is going on, like what's your perspective on this? Is it not how you would have hoped that it would go down, or is this something where like Hannah's right, like it was just her, like there's not any other options?
Fact, when you think you win something like that, you think you're going to be in the leadership point, right? For me at that point, maybe it's because I was a novice and I didn't know what I was doing, so I just knew I was protected. But if I had the absolute power, I wanted to work with Hannah actually and Joelle. I found them to be, I don't know, comforting to me. But I did have I know I did my magical, but I do feel the loyalty to the original tribe, and I kind of wanted to just stay with that.
Yeah, it was hard. It really was. And Hannah and I have broke down this game a lot as far as like us working together and how it maybe was her demise. It could have been something that we could have done a lot differently. We could have worked together with other people. It was just a whole different dynamic and situation. And like, there was this feeling like I told Hannah this. I said, if you flip and come with us, like I have a strong feeling like we get back and it's like we can go a long way. At some point, we're gonna have to sever ties at some point. But like I think I thought in my heart, like being connected at that point with Santi and Tara and Katie, I felt as though if I can bring Hannah on, like that's 5, and that's a strong, group moving forward. But I mean, like Hannah said, you start looking at who has what, and I didn't have anything, and she didn't have anything, but we had each other. But that clearly wasn't enough.
Didn't work out.
No. But we go to tribal, and as you're walking into tribal, there are a lot of times where I would say you're never fully confident in what the vote is, but there are times where you're pretty confident in what the vote's going to be, and there are a lot of times where you're unsure on who everyone else is voting for. Hannah, as you're walking into tribal, are you sure that it's you?
So I would say yes, but just to rewind for 1 second, just for the one Jerry comment you made before, the one thing that I didn't mention that is shown in the episode is when me and Joelle are outside, everybody else from the other, original Thane, I'm already forgetting all the names, are in the cabin discussing, come out and say, like, do you want to know who we're voting out? It's you, Hannah. Totally fine, fair. I've told people out of respect, like I'm voting for you. I don't feel like lying to you. No issue with that at all. I think it's kind of dangerous in a game with like advantages, and we don't have like what is it called? Like the shot in the dark, but like that's probably why they have shot in the dark. So if you do that, people are just going to play it and possibly screw up your plans. But anyway, so then I think I was still in my head kind of like, okay, maybe this is still a ruse to go with the page plan. But then when I was told, do we actually still want to go to tribal and vote? That's what made me think in my head, okay, this is not a ruse. I'm just getting voted out. And that's when my mind, so I was like, okay, if that's a possible plan, and I know that's not how everybody felt. If a possible option is me just quitting, then I was like, doesn't seem like a fake plan anymore. It feels like the real plan.
Yeah.
So that's when I immediately was like, all right, let me save myself. Let me go to Paige, tell her that she's another plan. Maybe I can get her on board to do, I don't know what. Like, it doesn't even make sense with all the advantages, but I just like was seeing red and was like, I'm not gonna just go out without a fight. I'm gonna do something.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell everybody this right now. Don't you dare ever approach me saying, "Do you just want to just quit?" Because I'll straight up burn that.
Seriously.
I'll burn that camp down.
I
I
am
really
so
will.
serious about that. I that was probably the one point in the game that I was like, come on. Like, I don't know what we're doing. Cause, that's not cool. Like, Hannah, cool. I didn't like that, but that's just my opinion.
Yes.
But
so
we've all
now, but
we've
know.
all grown. Santi, we all hated that comment, and we've all grown, and we're better for it. And
Yeah.
no hard feelings to anybody. Still want to have a beer with everybody. Still want to be friends and play more games with everybody. It's part of it. It did.
and I just
It
and I
felt.
just oh, thanks. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, you're good.
Oh.
It did feel a little super disrespectful. To
I
Hannah,
agree.
And
I agree.
it's very hard in a game like this. I will say this, like, once you get into that competitive zone and people start like coming at you, like, it is really hard to find the line of what not crossing the line. Like, where's the line? And let me make sure like I'm respectful in a game where you're lying and you're deceitful and like you're backstabbing people. Like, it's very blurred lines when you play this game. But I still think you can play in a way where you don't personally disrespect anybody. So but it was entertaining episode. Hannah, you are a great player. You really are. You are very analytical. You think about things, and you're very wear your heart on your sleeve, which is great. And you want other people that are in your group. You want them to go far, and I can appreciate that for sure because I was firsthand of that. So I appreciate you and what you were able to do to help my game, but also just being in the game and seeing you play and watching you. Like, you're a stud. Like, you're an all-star. So just always remember that. But Jess, that immunity necklace didn't last very long. It was almost like
a snoring Kevin that night, though.
Yes.
Sorry, Joelle.
So at Tribal, they have a chance to give shillings for something. Jess, you win the auction, and let's talk about this. What do you get? What do you get at the auction time?
Breathe strip, I think. Maybe a granola bar. I don't even remember, but breathe strips, like whatever they are, to like help the snoring. Yeah, that's what I got. I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah? Sure.
Well, obviously, we go. Episode 11 comes and we go right into a immunity challenge. It's really story time. Jason tells a story, and the person to answer the most questions wins. Eventually it was a lot of questions, and as a jury member, I think we were sitting there, Hannah, and I don't know if you had made it over there yet, but we're sitting there trying to answer the questions, and we were terrible. All of us there were not good at this. And it was a story, and it was probably the story that was verbatim in the cabin that Santi read probably 2 or 3 different times. And I think we all chunked it out and read it out loud, but maybe I was just tired or my brain was just done. And I was trying to remove myself from the game, even though I was still there and I felt like I was a part of it. But yeah, I didn't know any of the answers, but clearly Paige and Santi did. They tie. Santi ends up winning, and I'll ask you guys about this tiebreaker. And I know Santi's going to have some things to say in the comments, but there was no directive for them as far as they could or could not go over.
Over under.
And it
Price
wasn't
is
until
Right.
after, it wasn't until after where Jason was like, "Oh, by the way, you can't go over." And
Yeah.
Santi, he said, "I already agree with you." Um, but he is right. A win is a win, and at that point in the game, like he was, you had set a win there, set yourself up in a really good position. But yeah, I think she was way closer than what Santi was. Santi went the $1 route and just wanted to make sure he didn't go, over. And I don't even know, like for me, how I would have calculated it in the moment. And I might have been closer to what Santi was, or I might have been just way over. I don't know, but I guess they wanted to know the amount of seconds in the game from when it technically started to where they were then, and it was a lot. Too
Great
many,
question.
too many. But Santi ends up winning. He gets immunity, and he gets a chance also to take two other people to get some food. Um, he chooses Paige and he chooses Tara. Jess, you're sitting there and you don't get chosen to eat food, but you know that you don't win immunity for that challenge. So what is your thought going back to camp? Are you like, well, it could be me, or what am I doing? I gotta figure something out, or are you just kind of decompressing because it's been a long day?
Honestly, like I went into this game not knowing what the heck. I didn't go in with strategy other than I'm not gonna lie to people. I'm gonna do my best to just hold my integrity at the line. So no, I wasn't thinking. I knew I was safe for a round. So I
Yeah.
was good. I was gonna coast. Um, so no, not too much deep thought in there, honestly.
So basically, you were playing the game, but you were just gonna go when people
I was
felt it
doing
was your
my
time to go.
in my intuitive thing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
Kind
a
of
hell of a
keeping
way
my
to,
ear to the ground. Yeah, keeping my ear to the ground and kind of feeling out the energies of people. And if I walk toward a crowd and I could feel they were talking about me, I'm gonna back up, give them their privacy. But honestly, like I wasn't too worried.
yeah. You
I don't know.
I
I
wish
wasn't.
I had that in me because I was worried every second of the game. I felt like everybody's talking about you, and like I don't know, Hannah, you play enough of these games, or I say enough. You've played
Yeah.
a few of these games. Like, is it always like that? Like, do you always feel like you're the topic of conversation when you're looking across the way and people are chatting?
I think I'm somewhere between you and Jessica. Like I feel like I haven't always constantly felt that way, but there's definitely been times when you like see people talking, maybe looking your direction, and I feel like you should go over and interrupt them and try to catch them in like a lie, but it's like socially uncomfortable to do
Yeah,
that.
it's very,
Hi guys.
and you don't always want to be the person that's like interrupting conversations when it could have nothing to do, like by you going over there and interrupting the conversation, the minute you leave you might have turned the conversation, which wasn't on you, now it is
Onto
on
you.
you. So you're
100% correct.
you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But obviously at this point, you know they go and you guys have a chance to sleep prior to this, and I say sleep because
I'm laughing.
Joel is in the game, but on top of that, you have the game. Like, you have a big tribal council that you are preparing for the next morning, and, did you sleep much? Jess, it sounds like you were just like, "Ah, I don't care. I'm gonna get some
I'm
sleep on it."
delirious still.
Yeah. Um
I did.
But did you notice others, like the gameplay? Did you notice most people not sleeping? Were they, fidgeting? Were they
I,
whispering? Were they
I
going in and
noticed
out?
people having to go to the bathroom a little more often. Yeah, I noticed. I feel like Katie got up to go to the bathroom when Paige. I feel like it was a Paige Katie thing going on. Again, and I slept in between the two of them. So at that point, I was like, good, maybe I'll get a couple more minutes of sleep at this point. I honestly didn't want to get involved in anybody's like conversation. They weren't involving me, therefore it didn't pertain me, although it probably did. But
Right.
again, I'm gonna play my game.
So you guys wake up. How much sleep did you actually get? Like, let's like in
Oh,
terms of hours or minutes. Like what?
maybe three. I'd say three.
3 hours of
Maybe
sleep. I mean, Hannah, they should have just packed up their sleeping bag and went outside. Like,
seriously.
I mean, that.
It didn't help. Let me tell you, I slept away from the cabin and I could still hear
Oh
the
my
extra
god,
player.
that is crazy. That is
And
crazy.
that night that you went out, wasn't it raining or it was very muddy? I know
I
that
think
much.
I think it was a little bit damp, but it was worth it because I could not sleep in there.
Oh,
Oh,
man, that's
I thought of you.
crazy.
I thought of you because I think it was you that warned me. Just
Yes.
beware.
I should have
I was
used
like,
that as
oh,
a strategic thing. Keep me, vote out Joelle because of the snoring.
Yeah.
oh,
I
we love you. I love you. I adore you. This has not anything to do with you.
So by strictly by a cruel move, Jason makes you guys sleep on it. You wake up the next morning on minimal sleep and you go straight to tribal. Uh Paige plays her safety without power. Joelle plays an immunity idol, and then Katie plays a fake idol just for fun. She was tired of having it. Jess, at what point do you know you're going to be the vote, or did you know that you were going to be the vote?
Honestly, I was so sleep deprived. I was like, send me home at that point. But no, honestly, I had a feeling because I wasn't involved in a lot of the midnight conversations.
Hmm.
A lot of the people that smoke cigarettes to go outside and like have their conversations or the bathroom break. I just, you know, again, I'm at this point, I'm trying to learn the game, so I'm watching and I'm
Yeah.
learning and I'm understanding and I know and I'm okay with it. I'm tired,
What's
but
up,
yeah, I
Snyder? What up, dude? Yes, the season is great, and if you think it's great now, just wait. It's closing in. It's going to be even better. Just strap on your helmet and buckle up because this is going to be a ride. Um, Let me ask Hannah. I'll ask you. Now that you're in the jury, you're looking back and you see Paige still in the game, and she plays a safety without power. Knowing what you knew prior to being eliminated, do you think that Paige has a chance where she's eliminated if she doesn't play her safety without power?
I did think that because going back multiple episodes, Katie had talked about wanting to take out Paige and you as challenge threats. So I think she was at least she was telling me she wanted to get her out. So I think it is good for Paige that she played it.
Yeah, I think so too. And just knowing and hearing the conversations that were being had in the previous episodes is Paige was a name that was starting to become a hot button name, as far as we may not have to get her out now, but we've got to do something to get her out because I think people are starting to feel as though if she made it to the final, like they didn't know how things are going to go. So to prevent that, they need to make sure, well, what are we going to do? And she's adamant. She's like, I'm going to the final three. I don't care what y'all are trying to do. Here's my safety without power. I'm out of here. And she rolls out and does her thing, which great move on her, saving it, getting it, and using it effectively when you need to. Unfortunately, Jess, you're kind of the casualty of that, because Joelle at that point plays an immunity, and it's really you're the only one at that point who has
yeah, it was like
nothing.
pow pow pow. Honestly,
And it's tough. It's like Hannah said, when you have all of these advantages and they're this late in the game, it makes it really tough, and it makes it almost like we have no choice, but you're the one because you have nothing. Um, and it was sad. Like I sat in the jury, and when they read the votes, Jess, and you were voted out, I was not happy about that because I appreciated playing the game with you. You played the game so well. Not knowing, according to you, not knowing anything about it, you played amazing. Like you were a great person, friendly, sociable. Like you did it all. And guess what? You won immunity, and some people can't claim that. And that is pretty damn
Yeah,
cool.
fine.
But anyhow, with that, it's really a couple episodes left of Survivor Angelica Medieval Mayhem, and it's going
Okay.
to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I am so glad that I was able to be on this cast with you guys. And I'm curious how things are going to go. Obviously we were there, but you know, you never get the full picture until these episodes are put out. Then you start hearing how people were thinking. And for me as a fan, but also as someone who was playing in the game, like I find it just completely fascinating how conversations are being had that you have no clue about, and you could be in the game and don't even know it. And these could be your top people and you don't even know it. So a lot to digest coming up, a lot left. But a winner will be crowned soon, and we'll get to all of that in the next couple weeks. I hope everybody sticks around and hangs out for that. But Jess, this is your chance before we get out of here. Any parting words, any last minute things, any promotions, plugs, anything that you want to put out there?
Yes. Honestly, like if anybody were to ever try to do something like I've had this conversation with many people that don't know what this is all about. I'm like, and a lot of people are curious about it now. So maybe the community can get bigger.
Yes.
Maybe this can become a thing. Because honestly, like, when I went into this, I had no idea, and I didn't know how many people were connected. I didn't realize how much of a community this really was. And to get fresh players into the game, I guess, is a good thing. So spread the word. Maybe that's my thing right now at this point.
I mean, the biggest way for this community to continue to grow is to get new people into the community,
Well,
because
absolutely.
it's an addiction and it's a
It's
fun one,
so fun. I know. Oh
but
my god.
that's how you do it. Santi has a big question. Are you going to play again, Jess? Are you going to play again?
Oh, Santi, man! I knew this was gonna come from you. I want to say no, but you're gonna make me say yes. So if I know you're gonna be there, I will. How's that?
There you go. I think the challenge is going to be accepted, Jess. I don't think Santi has any
Okay.
problem with that. He's going to, whatever game he'll let you pick the game and he'll do it.
Oh no, I'd rather him pick the game because, like,
But
I don't know.
he does have a point, and this is being thrown out there, and I'm going to keep pushing this agenda. 2026, we're rolling this thing back.
Okay.
We're going to redo it. We're going to redo it.
I
I
like
can't mostly take it. I won't want to betray anybody. Like I can't. I literally would have such a hard time.
Well, I know. I felt that way this time. I don't know how it would be the next time.
I know I cannot play with everybody that I know.
Almost like we have to pick. We almost have to pick a personality to act.
That's when we do the reunion show. That'll be the question that I ask people is, all right, if we were to roll this back, who would you want on your tribe and who would you not want on your tribe?
Oh, I can't tell my secrets.
Oh, all right. That would be a good question though.
Well, I'll just say I would like Paige on my tribe so that I can go, so I could avoid some tribal councils, because I think I went to almost every.
Really good at puzzles, by the way.
Yeah,
you guys are all great.
All right, Hannah, what you got? Anything you got? Anything you want to put out there? Any last minute words, wisdom?
Yeah. Only thing is that Jessica, I mean, it's good for them that they got you out, because I know that me and some other people on the jury were rooting for you and hoping that you made it. So, it was a smart move on them. And yeah, and just love this experience. And I'll be in Austin, Texas next week. So some of you that live there, I'll be reaching out to see maybe if I can see you in person.
There
who
you go. I mean, Santi, I know you heard that. She's headed to Austin next week.
no
What a
comment.
guy. Oh, he's thinking, he's putting together the itinerary right now.
Love that.
Mini
Um,
reindeer.
Yes, there you go. For me, I just want to share some stuff. Obviously, live reality games casting. If you're someone who wants to be in an LRG, go to the live reality games casting Instagram account. You'll see many different shows that are casting now. You got Survivor Calgary, that's in July. You've got Torch of the North. You've got The Traitors. You've got Code Red. You've got Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. You got Last One Standing. I mean, there's a ton. Ascendants, Survivor DC Rock Creek, Ormond Survivor, competitive events. You've got Run the Gauntlet. I mean, there's just so many. If you want me to really plug you and put you out there, send me a message, give me the deets, and I'll make sure that I definitely hit you up and make sure you're promoted appropriately. But with that, it's a bittersweet to have you guys out of the game now, but it's going to be a blast the next few episodes getting and crowning an actual champion of this season. So for me, Hannah and Jess, this is the Live Reality Games Podcast. This is the Survivor Angelica recap show. We'll be back next Thursday night. Who will be joining us? You got to tune in this Friday to find out. So appreciate y'all. Y'all be good. Be safe. If you can't be in any of those, just be something. All right. We're out. Peace.